Ladies, gentlemen, serfs, knights, and dames, welcome to another Timoredbeard video. Today, I'm going to show you tips, tricks, and techniques that myself and members of my community have developed for building castles and working with stone. If you do like this video, make sure you hit that like button, consider subscribing. Don't forget to jump in the comments, let me know what you think. There's going to be a bunch of different things here, a bunch of different tips. I'll list them in chapters below in the description. So if you want to find specific chips, you can go and click those. And I do realize I just said chips instead of tips, but I'm leaving that in there. One of the easiest ways to make your stone walls come more alive and look more realistic is to recess them. And the easiest way to do that is using door snapping. If you place pillars at the both corners where they're normally supposed to snap, and then you snap a door frame to those pillars, you can then set the stone wall itself to be ½ meter or a meter set in to the wall, allowing you to create an alive and 3D texture. The community's resident window specialist, Antler Carver, who you might remember from the Gothic Windows video, has brought another window design, and this time it is for a thin castle style window, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So to build Antler Carver's 1 meter wide stone window, you're going to need a 2x2 space like this. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take arches and you're going to place them like so into each other. And then you're going to take doors, regular doors, and you're going to place them on the edge, either each side like so, and grab 1 meter wooden beams and place them down, snapped onto the edge of the doors like so. And then you're going to take stone pillars and you're just going to snap them in where those wooden beams want you to, and remove the wooden beams. And et voila, you have yourself a gorgeous little stone window. Once again, thank you to Antler Carver. Now, before we get to the 2 different techniques for Machicolations, we're going to look at Crenulations. And my favorite way to make Crenulations work in Valheim is this. You can do the standard just 1 stone block, gap, 1 stone block, gap. But honestly, aren't we a bit better than that now? So this way uses core wood snapping and door snapping to overhang a up and down crenulated pattern of stone blocks across the top of the wall. So to do this, you first have to snap a door to the outer edge of the wall, and then you need to snap another door to that door, utilizing its middle snap point so the doors are kind of inside each other. At that point, you have the perfect amount of distance to lay your 1x1 stone brick out, overhanging the top of it out to the furthermost door. Then just stack 1x1 blocks the whole way along the wall from there. Then you want to take out every other block so that you have a gap between every single block. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stack forward, snap to the bottom of these blocks the whole way along, like seen here. You can then use that core wood to snap the second set of 1 meter stone blocks on a lower level, snapped off the core wood in between each block, and this gives you this beautiful overhanging crenulated vibe to the wall. It's worth noting that the end pieces need to be up top, as in at a high point, or supported on both sides in order to stay up there. If you end on a low side and it doesn't have support from both sides, it will just keep collapsing. Even if it's bright green in support, it's just the way the game's coded. You can't get it to stay there. Machicolations are an often overlooked but very, very important tool for castle building, and they can really help bring your castle to life, especially when building with stone can really just not help when it comes to having a 3D textured feel to your builds. Just big flat slabs of stone just don't really cut it in terms of creative building. Now, I used 2 examples to inspire my design for Machicolations here in Valheim. The first is from the walled city of Trogir in Croatia, and the other is from the castle Craigmillar in Scotland. Now, due to the somewhat limited size of stonework that we can use in Valheim, the Machicolations, to make them detailed enough to actually look correct, have to be very large. So I highly recommend building them upon tall walls rather than short walls, because on top of short walls it can look kind of stunty and kind of weird, but on tall walls they look absolutely great. but this is how you make them. So here I'm just taking a 2 meter wide section of wall, recessed in between 2 pillars, and taking it up nice and tall, reinforcing with iron just so that it stays nice and strong when it's nice and tall, and then capping off the floor at the top onto the pillars and not the recessed walls in terms of snap points. We then want to remove the pillar that is at the top right below this floor that we've just placed, and we want to place a 2x1 stone block off the next highest pillar at the top, pointing outwards, and then replace the pillar by snapping it under the floor once again. We do that on both sides. We then layer 2 more steps a bit further out from the wall, first by using a 1x2 snap straight to the pillar, and then next by using a 1x1 and a 1x2 snapped on top of that. It's important, however, that you reinforce this section with iron. The best way I've found to do that, and it also adds to the looks, is to put iron snapped to the stone floor, and then you run iron from there all the way down to the ground, and it runs down the front of the pillar. It looks quite decorative, and it also functions as the structural support for the pillars and also for the Machicolations at the top. You can then dress the iron in wood or core wood or dark wood, however you wish, or you could even have an extended stone pillar that runs down and hides that iron also. And if you want to, you can support it in other ways. You can run the iron up behind the wall and come bring it out further forwards that way, and do as you please. This is purely decorative. As long as the iron support is there, that's what matters. We then double snap arches over each other from each side, creating a nice curved arch look in the middle. And there you have the basics of your Machicolation. You can then dress it how you want. I personally dress it by adding another layer of stone on top, adding Crenulations on top of that, and then creating staircases occasionally between the wall and the walkway that has now been created for the Machicolations. But what you do here is entirely up to you. Now, another way to do Machicolations is the rustic fort style, and that is using mostly wood. So you take your stone wall and then you extend a platform out off the top of it using 1x1 wooden floors, leaving gaps along the way that you're going to be using as your murder holes. And then you just want to dress that up with core wood, add maybe some half walls on top of it. Really, the decision is yours, but you end up with this really nice contrast between stone and core wood and wood that actually looks very rustic and very, very medieval. You know, a lot of places didn't have the ability to make pure stone castles until much later on in centuries, and so often you would have like basic stone walls, and then all of the detail work and the additional work would be made out of wood. So it ends up looking quite good and quite realistic. If you have found this video helpful, please do hit that like button, consider subscribing, and don't forget to chuck some comments down in the section below. Talk about, you know, the castles and tips and tricks and the like. I do stream on Twitch, and I do a lot of building on Twitch as well. So if you want to see more Valheim building, please do go check out my Twitch. I stream Monday to Friday, and I'd love to see you there. Otherwise, have a great rest of your time. Maybe check out some of my other videos. You never know. Peace out. Take care.